Words by Entity 9 Silvergen. Chapter 1. Deepest Meanings. Deceit had a great appreciation for words. Mere noises and letters put together could form something that had such strong meaning. A lone word could be impactful, or nothing at all. It was when they were put together and molded into sentences that they became something more. Sentences were communication, and when sentences were strewn together, they became art. Diction and syntax, syntax and diction. They fit like puzzle pieces. Sometimes they fit together so perfectly. They complemented each other, completed a picture, became something beautiful. Other times, not so much. They could be broken and still have meaning, even if not the one intended. Maybe that's why Deceit loved to pore over literature. The change in style over time fascinated him. The way philosophers of times past bent words to portray such profound insights made his heart sing in ways that surprised even him. The sheer craftsmanship that went into creating a novel was astounding. Deceit loved it all. But most of all, he loved how the others used words. Logan was straightforward, using the most complex of words to make his points. Roman was far less direct, painting pictures and making wild analogies to convey his ideas. Patton spoke simply, but his words were heavy with emotion and meaning. Remus spoke with explicit honesty, and he knew how to utilize the skill well. For Virgil, words were rare. That made them all the more genuine, and the shortest of statements had the most monumental of effects. And then there was Deceit. He used words unlike any other side. Deceit manipulated words. They were his. He owned them. He twisted them unrecognizably and warped them into new dimensions. To him, words were more than communication. They were powerful, and he wielded that power well. He was a liar, and he hated it. Logan couldn't understand him, confused by a few mere lines. Roman was easily deceived, swallowing half-truths like life-saving elixir. Patton was repulsed, the lack of honesty practically burning him any time Deceit was in his presence. Remus loved his words, but Deceit's words shut him up, and he hated that he could just deny him of something he valued so much without a thought. And Virgil? Oh, Virgil. Words could hurt him so easily. His words hurt all of them. He was in control, yet not at all. If words meant so much to him, why couldn't he use them to show them how he felt? Why did he scathe Logan when all he wanted to do was let him know how much he respected him? Why did he mock Roman when all he wanted to do was show his appreciation for everything he did? Why did he taunt Patton when all he wanted to do was match that love with equal vigor? Why did he scorn Remus when all he wanted to do was express his love for his honesty? Why did he slight Virgil when all he wanted to do was tell him how much he cared? Words could do so much. Timed and molded right, they could bring unparalleled joy to someone's day. Timed and molded right, they could do the opposite. "Leave," Thomas said, and Deceit nearly did a double-take. "Come again." "Leave me alone," Thomas repeated, despair bleeding into his voice. Deceit frowned. That wasn't right. He tilted his head and leaned forward, but that just made Thomas back away. "I wouldn't be a bad person if it wasn't for you." Deceit tried not to show how hard those words hit him. Putting on his usual confident persona, he purred. "Thomas, you're not a bad person." "That means so much coming from a liar," Thomas snorted, voice dripping with sarcasm. He looked away and buried his face in his hands. "I don't want to be a liar." Deceit leaned back, unable to hide the slight widening of his eyes, but Thomas didn't seem to notice. What? What could he say? That he was sorry? Clearly his words meant nothing to Thomas. He couldn't pretend like that didn't hurt him. Words meant everything to Deceit, and to have them twist in his own mouth every time he spoke. He supposed he couldn't blame Thomas for hating him, nor could he blame Thomas for inadvertently hurting him. He didn't know. He didn't know anything. "Please," Thomas whispered, tucking his knees in close and curling against the wall. Please just leave. Deceit opened his mouth, but no words came out. His lips closed, and he ducked his head, resigned. He let out a breath, and wordlessly, he sank out, and Thomas was left alone with nothing but his thoughts.